Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Am I audible now?
Yeah, you are audible, sir.
Uh, can I just do a quick check of my screen if it's visible?
Yeah, you can. You can. You can.
It's visible, right?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Full slide you have to go. That's it. Everything is fine.
Yes, I'm just trying to click. It's now full screen, I think. Yes,
Yeah, wonderful.
answered it. How are you doing, sir?
I should ask you why we are by grace of God doing fine. How are you? How about you?
I'm also doing good, sir. Thank you so much for having me today.
God bless you.
Thank you,
We
sir.
are lucky enough that and blessed that you have agreed to
Sir, it's an
like
honor and a pleasure for me to be a part of this international conference.
it was really it was a very short time we planned up.
Yes,
And luckily all of us from diversified field we could get the speakers.
yes, sir.
Really wonderful.
And so many
So,
congratulations to you, means for putting up such a successful show.
all God's grace and support and blessings from all kinds of walks of life, like you, Jindal ji, Munish ji, and Nancy, and all YP Chawla ji,
Yes, sir.
everybody. So that's how we could got diversified speakers,
Yes, sir. Yes.
and from nearly 12 countries.
No, sir, means it's a means a great means step by the organizers, means you are means actually defining the global village. You're bringing all the countries together on a
Yeah,
common platform with the use of AI and technology.
AI does that. So now we have. So therefore, so before we could start, let me briefly introduce you so that without further delay, let us maintain.
Yes, sir.
Shantanu sir?
Just a minute.
Acha, no problem. Just let me in from my main ID. Take your time, no rush, sir.
Imminent
No,
का
done.
spelling बताइए।
Participants are also joining in. Wonderful.
Imminent का spelling देखिए। Imminent speaker बोलते हैं जो क्या?
Yes, Shantanu sir.
Yes, let's start with.
You had your lunch?
Yes.
Take good care of you. We need you.
We too.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful.
You had your lunch?
Yes, sir. All done and working side by side. I have other things also going on. I have to work in my robotics lab as well.
Wow, great. So hope about any certificates our secretary was just asking. So have it has been done or how is it?
Certificates are getting ready.
Wow, wonderful.
Done by and I would leave exactly at 3:55 and then I will join you back at 4:30.
Wonderful.
Done, sir. And
Done.
I think Priya sir has joined us.
Yeah, already Atipriya ji is there.
Sir,
So I would like to request Atipriya sir
to turn on your camera, and Shantanu sir, I want to let you know Atipriya sir is very dear to me.
Yeah.
And he's kind of a younger brother to me. And
Wow.
I have seen him personally rising exponentially in past 2 years.
Wow.
When I'm saying exponentially means 100x, 100 times.
Yes.
A human being progressing 100 times in just a span of 2 years.
We could see from his profile.
That is the kind of dynamic and exponential human being he is. There was a time when Ati Priya met me and he said that I was his inspiration. And Shantanu sir and I want to let all the audience know that today Ati Priya is my inspiration.
Sorry, you're flattering me. You're still my
No, I'm being true. I'm being true, Ati. I'm being true. That is why I've personally joined this session, that you are coming. And the way I've seen you rising, you are not only an intellectual soul, like not only cause of your knowledge, but personally, due to your dynamic nature, you are a role model for the today's generation. That how just in a span of 2 years, a human being can entirely transform himself, and how he can transform his life journey, and how one can grow exponentially with sheer dedication and passion and hard work. That is what I've seen personally. Shantanu sir, I'm seeing him personally growing in front of my eyes in a span of 2 years, and whereby he has surpassed all the standards.
Wow.
Thank you
And
so
now
much.
he is involved in each and every initiative of mine. Wherever, whatever we do, we keep him at the forefront, at the forerunner. And that is why he has been kept on the concluding day, that I know he's going to come with his blazing guns and he's going to make it super awesome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome, Ati. So what time we're starting, sir?
Right now we can start. Everything is set right.
So I would love it that if you just can quickly introduce
Yes.
Mr. Ati Priya, who is soon going to be Dr. Ati Priya, and he is the Deputy Journal of Entrepreneurship Development Cell of City University.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Take over to you, Dr. Shantanu Das, and Ati Priya and all the audience. I want to let you know, Dr. Shantanu Das is such a wonderful and humble soul, and I'm grateful to him. He just made me a quick call around a week ago that let's do this, and I was an artificial intelligence summit of a day. We started with a day. In one single call we said, okay, let's do it. In next second call we said, okay, 2 days, and then it happened for 3 days. And Dr. Shantanu Das represents Seshadripuram first grade college from Yelahanka, Newtown, Bangalore, and him and his trustees, his chairmen, they are doing so wonderful that I'm mesmerized, I'm touched. And we have negotiated, we are now working on a long-term association whereby all our speakers, all our audience is going to be long-term part of this forum that we are today are going to announce in the valedictory session.
Thank you.
Huge
Thank you so much.
for Dr. Shantanu Das and Seshadripuram First Grade College, Yelahanka, Newtown, Bangalore. Over to you, Dr. Shantanu Das.
Thank you, sir. So we are in fact humbled, mesmerized, and blessed to have all those eminent speakers. And we could see one or the other is like outshining one, or like that, gelling one. In fact, not outshining, I will tell better, gelling than like it's like a concording effect. So really, I would like to welcome Ati Priya, who is a National CSR Project Head, MIW Foundation, Board of Advisor, AIESEC Ludhiana, Board Member AECD Delhi Chapter, City University Representative LMA Ludhiana, Member ECA, Director Ati Priya Kids Preschool, and former CEO and IGP Private Limited, Delhi. Mr. Ati Priya is a well-experienced management consultant with an expertise in planning, overseeing, and implementing business development strategies, conducting motivation sessions for the employees, and engaging them in team building for the national and international companies. Awards and accolades: recipient of Man of Excellence Award by All India Forum, recipient of Top 100 International Distinguished Educator Award from International Institute of Organized Research, Bright Educator Award for the remarkable contribution in the field of management by Green Thinks at 4th International Convention on IRSD held at CII Chandigarh, Certificate of Appreciation from City University, Certificate of Appreciation from Interns Shala in association with AICT New Delhi, Appreciation Letter by Director Finance, OLM International, Gabon, West Central Africa, Appreciation Letter by AM Indian Oil Corporation Limited. So it's never ending. So
yes, it's never ending. We can write a complete book on him, or we can even launch a new granth on Ati Priya.
And he has got PhD certification, postgraduate, MBA, whatnot. A simple from a BCom graduate, he has risen to this level. So it clearly indicates that a normal degree, not like engineer or something, You can, a normal degree course, a general line degree course can also make you to reach if you have that talent, potential, and your hard work and your determination. Experience he has in management consultant Resonance Ventures, management consultant Cario for Ludhiana, management consultant, then CEO or an Institute of Grooming Professionals, then MT Indian Oil Corporation Delhi and MT Sporking India Ludhiana. So recognitions, honored to be called by District Bureau of Employment and Enterprise Punjab government to take a session for all the educational institute of Punjab on acing the virtual interview. How honored to be called for COVID-19 awareness program and Young Tarang Margadarshan show dedicated on developing managerial skills in youth, aired on All India Radio FM Gold 100.1. So with this simple, very few lines, I welcome wholeheartedly on behalf of Seshadripuram Group of Institutions, Seshadripuram First Grade College, Mentor X Global, Indian Institute of Science Alumni Association, Karnataka Science and Technology Academy, then Student for Development and Research Foundation of India, wholeheartedly to both Ati Priyaji as well as Munish Jindalji for the second half post-lunch, third day post-lunch session. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor indeed to be present at such a great platform. Thank you so much. I hope I am visible. And
yes.
Yes, Atipriyaji, you're totally visible, as charming as ever, and your
Thank you.
presentation is visible, your smiles are visible. Go ahead and rock it.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So, a very good afternoon to all the present. Welcome to the third session, post-lunch session. I'm pretty much sure that after lunch means you all must be tired. But yes, let me assure you means I'll not make you sleepy with my session. And I'll try to give you some of the practical aspects of how AI and sustainable development go hand in hand. So from the past 2 days, my esteemed keynote speakers they pondered upon the importance of artificial intelligence. They pondered upon how sustainable development is the future, and how we should be keep maintaining the sustainability in the coming world. So moving on with the session, just a quick hi to all the present. This is just me, a virtual robot from just presenting hi to you. So before we begin with the session, just let me just ask has it happened to you that did you ever stop and think that what you do is sustainable? And do you know what sustainable development actually means? I'm pretty much sure many speakers they have covered it, and but sustainable development, what exactly does it mean? It means to make the world a better place for everyone, and that too without destroying the possibilities for the next generations. And if you wonder if something is sustainable as yourself you just need to ask some questions to yourself. Can we do this over and over again? Sustainable development means we need to keep 3 things in mind at once: social progress, economic development, and climate environment. Now, first of all, we have to take care of our planet. We have many natural ecosystems that must be balanced in order for us to live here. Now, the climate system is one of them. This is to ensure that the temperature is correct, and then the atmosphere mix is set with the right amount of solar energy. But what we do, we emit harmful green gases such as carbon dioxide. We clog the atmosphere, and this changes the temperature in Earth, which again affects our development. How we produce and use the energy is incredibly important. Oil and coal they are the examples of some energy we may run out soon. But water, wind, and sun however, they will always be there. Now, using these lasting resources of energy that renew themselves is good for the planet, and it provides jobs for the years to come. It helps in economics, because almost everything we develop, buy, and trade, it starts with the nature. The smarter we use our natural resources and the better systems we create on fair distribution, the more sustainable we are. Now, one way to contribute to a even distribution is to be aware what we buy and how it is produced. And we all know football, I'm pretty much sure means we all love football. So means let's take the example like of football itself. Football is a great example. It travels the world far before it reaches to the players. First the materials are made, then they print the logo somewhere else. Then before means the third country seals it all together, means the one football has seen the entire world before it reaches the goal ultimately. And means if we are to win the battle for the sustainable future, we have to play with the fair rules that apply to everyone. What does social progress mean? We humans are part of the nature, but we are also an important resource to the world. Just like water, the forest, and the sun, we have minds that create the strangest and the most creative things, which we'll be seeing also. Now, for the best version of ourselves, there need to be an equal opportunity to education, safety, food, and medicine, so that it provides greater opportunities for us, the human beings. Now, these three things must work together for sustainable development. That is sustainable development. And there's actually a plan for this. My honorable means respected previous speaker, she also pondered upon the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So all the countries of UN, they agreed on a joint plan for sustainable development. But for the plan to work, we need to find the ways. And here, AI can be a great importance.
बुला दे सन्नी, ब्लूटूथ पे लगा दियो, ढंग से सुन नहीं रहा मेरे को.
Okay, I think someone's over here. Okay, so means advances in technology means they have enriched our lives, and further advances of technologies brought about newer changes, from first, second, third to the current fourth industrial revolution, which is called the artificial intelligence. Now, AI, accelerated by big data and machine learning technologies, is now making its way into our everyday lives. But means what AI brings about, and means how does exactly an AI look like? AI should be easy and convenient for everyone, perhaps like your personal secretary, relieving you from all the mysterious matters and can help you organize your busy and complete, or means fetch you the information you need, like it can help you what's missing in the dinner and order it for you, means before even you knowing it, and it can even remind you of the things that you need to pick up. Now it may perform means rightly seemingly complicated functions that everybody should be able to use it, and this is just the beginning. Artificial intelligence will grow even smarter, understanding what people need even before they make a command. Like just adjusting the TV's brightness and picture mode when you're watching a movie, for example. And these technologies exist now. Means like you can just say that I'm going to bed, and AI will take care of everything that needs to be done for once. It's for that for you to get a sound and deep sleep. Or maybe means sometimes you don't even means need to speak. AI can automatically means judge, and it can do the command for you. But means from mobile to consumers means today automotive components are interconnected. How is it possible? Because companies, product, and technology, they are helping accelerate AI. The devices are now made to coordinate with each other, and AI is gaining deeper understanding of users' preferences and liking. As such, means it is learning to get better at handling things. Of course, means while keeping all your personal informations absolutely secure, because security matters. And means the big change that artificial intelligence is bringing means it applies not only to the individuals but also to the businesses also. And how does it do that? From massive amount of data today, we can select and analyze what customers really want, and that too quickly and accurately. And by enhancing the entire process, means from design to production, a business will be able to provide product and services that satisfy customers more efficiently. All in all, means AI will help enrich our lives by simplifying complicated matters. And today, AI is helping to make life simpler and easier. But means there are means many misconceptions about artificial intelligence. So let's demystify the artificial intelligence and how we do that. Means so technology is advancing faster, and means it's taking less time to be widely adopted than ever before. Means like as in it took roughly 10,000 years to go from writing to printing press, but only about 500 more years to get to the email that we use today. Now it seems that we are at the dawn of the new age, but means if we define artificial intelligence as per the dictionary, what does it mean? Means it is just a branch of computer science dealing with the simulation of intelligent behavior in computers. Now that's a complicated definition, but means, and yes, many people have different opinions about this. But one thing that I have heard is that the best way to learn a subject is to means teach it. So my sense of it, like it kind of feels like means a Pandora box, maybe means because why much of our understanding means means about most of the things like about the artificial intelligence we got from these sci-fi movies, which usually depicts us that heading towards the dystopia, right, the end of the world. But like most of the things, I suspect like the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. Now, along the way, means and in this session, we will try to demystify some common misconceptions about the things we thought we understood, but probably we don't. Terms such as machine learning, algorithms, voice simulations, we'll look on to these things. And it means they will be conveniently unpacked with the real life examples, right? And yes, to demystify, Pandora box was a jar. It was not a box. Okay, so AI is teaching the machine, and machine is becoming smart. Each time we create a more powerful technology, we create a bigger lever for means changing the world. It's an extraordinary ride. One of the means unprecedented change and possibility means to help us understand what's happening. We will try to look at means few of the innovations that is pushing the boundaries of AI and how their groundbreaking work is impacting our lives and the world around us. So means we'll be exploring. Oh, sorry. So we'll be exploring creativity, we'll be exploring identity, and we'll be exploring how humans and machines are collaborating with each other. Intelligence, it used to be the province of only humans, but it no longer is. We don't program the machines, they are learning by themselves. People are working on to bring the characters to life. Means you must have seen means pretty sci-fi movies, and means you must have thought and wondered that what if this character was alive? Avatar, King Kong, But today, this is the reality. People are bringing these characters to life, so that means you can actually interact with them. I hope means few of you must have heard about Baby X. Now Baby X means is a lifelike simulation of a baby, of a young toddler. Baby X is like exploring the nature of how we build a digital consciousness. And in order to make the machine and human collaborate and work together, the creator of Baby X, Mr. Mark Sager, he started with the very foundation of life, that is baby, and he modeled this version of baby based on his own daughter. This baby, it has the cameras built in, and she learns by seeing like the real baby learns. Let me just unmute my this slide.
So that means you can hear. So now what is happening? The inventor, he's showing the expressions, and at the same time, baby, she's trying
to capture those expressions. And if you go deep into it, means how means these exactly things work, means if you reveal the layers of this model, these are built by virtual muscles, and they are driven by a virtual brain. And these all are driven by neural networks. If you'll see, the virtual brain, it is enacting like a real brain. Now, brain is the most complex organ of the body. It has tons of neurons. So it is building upon the natural brain. Now, what exactly means neural networks means? Neural network, it's a virtual, much simpler version of the human brain. Like I said, brain means is the most complex part of the body. It got 85 billion neurons, which fires non-stop, receiving, processing, and sending information. Now, in terms of baby X, what brain is doing, instead of neurons, it has got nodes. And the more the nodes are exposed to, the more they learn. One of the biggest misconception of AI is that there is a super intelligent being like robot, means what we call it as a generalized AI that knows all, that can do all, smarter than all of us put together. But instead, AI is built on us. AI is mimicking our thought process. AI is basically an emulation of us. Means today, you might have seen that most of the avatars, most of the virtual assistants that we use, means they are basically glorified, customer representatives. They can answer simple questions and give the scripted response. All these models that you are seeing, they are all virtual assistants. They're not real human beings. And people they are using to interact with the humans. Now, means for baby X to perform, means he's trying to identify the objects. It uses the type of AI which is known as the object recognition. You see over here, the inventor, he's trying to show an image of a spider to the baby, and baby is trying to understand that what exactly this object looks like. Then he shows the duck to him, and baby is trying to create a difference between the spider and the duck, just like a real baby does. So means this technology is known as object recognition. Now, basically, what happens means how a computer sees, it identifies the object, like a spider, and tells the difference between a spider and a duck. Means it is something like which we do naturally. You, I, we do not see. But machines like baby X, they need to learn from the scratch. Basically means shifting through means enormous pile of data to search for the patterns. So like you can drive the car, or means you can identify a group, identify criminal from a photograph, or means you can identify the difference between a person, how one person is different from another person, and means they are not stopping over here. They are moving one step ahead. You see the baby crying. Now they're trying to interpret and stimulate human emotions into it. And that is known as the affective computer. We want to build emotional AI that enables the machine to have empathy. And why do we do that? Harvard, MIT's, they have done studies into it. They have shown with example that older adults, who have the AI aids at their nursing homes, they're happier with the robot that emotes, and is social. That means having no one else there. That's really the enhancement of human relationship, right? Means we have been collaborating with the machines since the dawn of the technology. Means even today, means don't mind me saying, but yes, even today, means in some senses we are all cyborgs already. Means because you use an app to means meet new persons, right? Then you go to the particular app to means go to dine out with your friends. You want to select a restaurant. You sit into the car. There is a GPS over there which lets you know how to drive, and then you start driving. So the human and machine means decision making. They are means tightly interwoven, and I think means this is only increasing means as we go forward. Now means somewhere in Georgia, there's an inventor who believed that AI is going to means enhance humans, and means they are building the technology that will explore new ways to be creative. Let's see what kind of things means they are trying to build. They have built a robot who plays the music, and that music is composed all by itself. That robot is known as Shimon. He's an artificial intelligence musician. He plays, and he has performed at numerous musical events worldwide. How does he do that? Whenever he hears any piece of music, he finds the gap in that music and he uses that music to improvise. How does it happen? With the help of machine learning. Machine learning is the ability to find patterns in the data. For example, if we feed Shimon that, okay, Justin Bieber is playing, so what he will do, he will try to see that what note he is likely to play after and what note will come after. So he'll try to find the gap. And once it finds the pattern, it can start to manipulate. It can morph the music notes from all the legendary musicians and create a new melody, which humans can never create. And the inventor is not stopping at here. He is pushing the AI beyond building robots to augmenting humans. Now there was a drummer who came to him, and that drummer lost his arm due to a car accident, but he was very passionate about it, playing the drums, and he wanted to play drums. Now what people are building, they are building the robotic arms with the sticks in it. What happens once the arm is put, the sensors, they interact with the human muscles and it lets the stick play. We'll just see how it happens in live. And they can play the melody which normal humans cannot even imagine of playing. And this is all the power of AI. It is helping the persons live a better life, And you must have seen that prosthetic arms they are in existence since quite a few years now, right? But they were not able to, like, suppose if I want to hold this phone, I cannot close my fingers naturally like I do, but they have come up with the technology through which they can move the individual fingers like I am doing it right now, without giving much stress to my hand, without even giving a much stress to my brain. It's just a natural process for me, and this is happening in real world. They are giving a reason for the reason to live for the people. Do we all remember RoboCop? I'm pretty much sure that you all have seen that movie. There's a man, there was an inspector who was half machine and half human. So the term, or you must have seen $1 million man, $6 million man. So the term bionic, it goes way back to 1960s. But the idea of enhancement it actually date backs way back, like further to the Greek mythology, like the Aztec gods, and even to the ancient Hinduism. So the way in which you must have seen that when people they met with the accident and their limbs are amputated, but the way in which the limbs are amputated they are not fundamentally changed since the US Civil War. But then the researchers at MIT, they have developed a novel way of amputating limbs. They actually created a little biological joints, through which they link the muscles together in pairs. So when a person thinks and moves the limb that's been amputated these muscles move and send sensations that we can directly link to a bionic limb. They can actually feel the movements in their nervous system. See, this person, he was a passionate rock climber, but he met with an accident and he lost his leg. Now, how AI is helping? The moment he'll move his muscle, the bionic limb, it will start moving, and it will become a part of him. So what they have actually done, they have taken the part, they've taken the virtual model of the missing biological limb, and when it fires the muscle from the brain, they use an electrode to measure that signal, and that drives the virtual machine. Now, because of that bionic limb, once he was deprived of not following his passion again. But with the help of the artificial limb, he's now again following his passion. Hmm? Now there are two certainties in life, like death and taxes. But can we get rid of one of those? See, means 100 years ago, life expectancy was only 45. And then by 1950s, it went up by 65. Today, it's almost 80. And tomorrow, who knows? The healthcare sector, it has made huge progress. We have eradicated epidemics that used to kill millions, but life is fragile. People still get sick or pass away for reasons that maybe should be someday curable. Talk about today's COVID situation, But what if we could improve diagnosis? What if we can innovate to predict illness instead of just reacting to it? Prevention is always better than cure, right? So now we will see how machine learning is offering a solution to this. AI is changing the way we think about mind and body, life and death. And what we value the most are human experience. Speech, hearing, sight. Can AI actually predict all these things? Can AI predict blindness? Or can we even prevent it? Veril, the life science division of Alphabet, and our very own Arvind Eye Care Hospital, which is located in Madurai, they both collaborated to build a device that can detect and prevent blindness right before happening. Diabetic peoples, they are very much exposed to blindness, and it's very hard to detect it at an early stage. And these two collaborations, they're trying, and they have actually done it to identify the blindness right before it actually occurs. How they've done it? They first identified the healthy eye, and they identified means which eye is having which kind of disease. The models, they're trained like we usually do in our day-to-day life. So after looking at thousands and thousands of examples, means they're trained with the help of the images like we usually do in our social media accounts, right? So what happens after looking at thousands of examples means they define the algorithm, and that algorithm learns to identify new images. They in this particular project, they scanned nearly 1 lakh eyes, and the doctors, they graded all those eyes, like they rated eyes on a scale of 1 to 5, like from healthy to disease. Now these images were then used to train a machine learning algorithm, and and over the time AI learned to predict which eye shows signs of disease, and that led to the invention of crystal view. From this particular machine, just with a quick scan of your retina, it's just like normal eye scanning machine which you go to an optician to get your eye test, but it's a very advanced one. With just a quick view means you can actually get the real time view of your eye, and you can actually prevent the blindness. This is Tim Shaw. Now, Tim Shaw, he was okay. We talked about the athlete. Now, why we are talking about this athlete over here? Because people, they say that communication is the key to establish relation with one another. Humans, they build connections by communicating with each other. But what if someone, and means communication is not like you just have to speak from your mouth, but you can communicate from your eyes also. But yes, when you speak, you make yourself understand more to the person. I'm also speaking, I'm also trying to make understand you more. Maybe I am, right? So how can AI help in bringing the voice back? Can AI do that? Can AI actually help a person to get his voice back? Or can AI replicate the voice of the person? This guy, this person over here, his name is Tim Shaw. He was a very famous NFL player, very famous from Team Titans. And means he used to score hundreds and hundreds of goals. But life had its own plan. Let me just show you something. But yes, for that I need to unmute my this screen. Just let me know if you are able to hear this voice.
Hey Titans fans, this is Tim.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Hey Titans fans, this is Tim Shaw here, linebacker and special teams animal.
Now this is the real voice of Tim Shaw.
I'm in this in between where I am still taught, but not everything I've said is understandable.
What happened? The guy means who was speaking so well now means we are facing so much difficulty in understanding means his simple language which he is trying to say. He met with the disease ALS. But over here, AI will come into the picture. AI will help him, and how it helps, how it is helping the people who are disabled with diseases like ALS to get a control of their voice. We'll see that. Speech recognition. It is helping through the speech recognition. First, the sound of a voice, it is converted into a waveform, which is really just a picture of the sound. Waveforms are then matched to the transcriptions, means or labels for each word. Now, these maps, they exist for most of the words in English language or in any language. Now, here comes the role of ML. Using millions of voice samples, the deep learning model is trained to map input sounds to the output words. And then the algorithm uses rules like such as grammar and syntax to predict a word in a sentence. And this is how AI can tell the difference between there, they are, and there. This is how AI works. So in case of this, what happened? Google, they partnered with ALS TDI Boston, to collect the sample data of all the ALS patients and build a machine to help the ALS diagnosed patients. And I'm pretty much sure you all remember the ice bucket challenge. This actually led to the ALS ice bucket challenge. People started to show support. People started to show support for the sustainability, for enhancing the humans' lives, and it raised nearly $115 million. And out of which 67% was put onto the research. And with this research, the next technology was developed, which was voice synthesis. It is just the opposite. It is just the reverse of voice simulation. Means, first ML converts text back into the waveforms, and then these waveforms are used to create sound. This is how Alexa and Google Home are able to talk with us. Again, demystify. So what exactly happened? The persons at Google, the persons at ALS TDI Boston's, they started developing an app. They started developing a feature, an AI feature, which can help Tim and his family understand each other, and it can help Tim to get back his voice. Let us see how it happened.
So I brought two versions with me. I was supposed to pick, but I decided to just bring both just in case one is better than the other. And just so you know, this one here was trained only using recordings of your voice, and this one here was trained using recordings of your voice and also from other participants from ALS-TDI who went through the same exercise of. So, okay, so let's, I was hoping we could give them a try. Are we ready?
Yes, I am.
See, means we people were not able to understand. We were not able to understand what Tim was saying, but machine can.
So I brought two versions with me. I was supposed to pick, but I decided to try. Are we? You got it.
I got it. Yes. Are you working today? It's wonderful.
Cool. Well, thank you for trying this. Fabulous. There's something else I wanted to try, if that's okay. So we're working with another team at Google called DeepMind. They're specialized in voice communication and synthesis.
In 2019, Tim wrote a letter to his younger self. They are words written by a 34-year-old man with ALS who has trouble communicating, sent back in time to a 22-year-old on the cusp of NFL greatness.
So let me give this a try. I just like using this letter because it's just so beautiful. So let me see if this is gonna work.
So I decided to write you this letter because I have so much to tell you. I want to explain to you why it's difficult for me to speak, the diagnosis, all of it, and what my life is like now, because one day you will be in my shoes, living with the same struggles.
It's his voice that I've forgotten.
I know you remember that. I don't remember that one.
We do.
You know, did you see the emotion on
His parents' face? You know, AI is trying to sustain that emotion. AI is trying to give a reason to live. AI is trying to give a reason to be happy again. You know, AI is trying to make us remember what we have forgotten. This is how AI is going forward, and what the future may look with artificial intelligence. You know, AI is helping with all the SDG goals of United Nations. It is helping to eradicate poverty. It is helping to bring food to the people. It is helping to do the zero hunger campaign of UN's SDG, right? It is helping to save the ocean. It is helping the humanity to survive. This is what the future may look like, and the future, I believe, is in good hands of AI. So thank you. That's all from my side. Thank you so much for having me over here, and I'm pretty much sure that I was able to give you a glimpse of how AI is helping in the sustainable development of the nation, of the country.
So really, sir, it was a wonderful presentation. live, filled with emotions, sentiments. The last video really, for the disabled people, how the parent, the tear rolls down from their eyes when they see that they can't understand, but the machine is understanding his talk and word.
Yes.
I don't know what to say. That's what morning we were speaking about, that if you put emotions to the machine, how the machine will respond,
Yes.
how they will behave, how the machine will enable the emotional, because many people, especially we call that introverts, right? They
Yes.
are unable to express their emotions.
Yes.
They are not able to express. So therefore, what has to be done is the emotional expression is mandatory for them. So therefore, the machine will play a major role in solving this problems who are emotionally disturbed or they have no disabilities. I mean to say the disabilities with voice and speech or talking disability. So really wonderful, and I'm mesmerized by the simplicity you have explained with the videos. So really, Munish, was really true that you are means in multifold, 100-fold or exponentially you have risen, and the way you have presented really. So to take a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
Like, thank you so much, sir. I could feel the usage of AI. You could see that the responses.
Yes, sir.
Now AI baby is not living things. Parent may like to have it rather in rather to the genetics. No, means later on.
Yes, yes. Means,
Yes.
Means today we have IVF technologies over there, but yes, sometimes means IVF technologies can also not be means successful with many parents, and means they cannot means feel the real happiness and pleasure of having a child. But yes, AI can help them in a positive manner. Means like the baby X means when it started just from the baby, and today means it's growing. It's now 7 years old girl. Means she's trying to learn. Means she's trying to learn the environment. So yes, means the parents will always have.
I don't know, some interruption. Okay. So therefore, what I'd like to see from your talk that yeah, definitely, because as many parents know, we could understand that emotions and all are like mind, everything. That's what I tell. Sometimes people tell, please don't mind. Then I say scientifically, no, I don't have mind, I have brain, because everything is controlled by brain. So the emotions, sentiments, feeling, everything is brain. So if the brain, we put the emotions, everything there, I think the parents or the elderly people, suppose many war, what you could see that the parents has lost their son who has martyred for the country. Now they have to live the entire life. They can't have another. So at least the emotions, sentiments, if something is there, they listen their voice, they can have the reason to live, the reason to support themselves. Really wonderful. So participants, before I could go ahead with some other questions, very emotional session. Many people started shedding tear, means rolling down. The tear is rolling down from their eyes. Wow, I can't. So
it's been a very powerful session, sir. Since we started, today has been very powerful. See, I told you, Ati has a very dynamic control over life, and whenever he shares, he comes out of his cocoon rarely, but whenever he comes out with a bang.
Yeah, like a butterfly.
Yes,
spreading the beauty.
So I see, even before the introduction, I told you that what kind of dynamic human being he is, and he's very, very dear to my heart, very close to me, and so I'm feeling very happy with such a wonderful session. Thank you, Ati, for being with us, and we are indeed grateful to you for delivering such session and for accepting our invite at a short span of time and sparing your valuable time and being with us. And a heart, from deepest core of my heart, I'm grateful to you for that. Thank you for being with us. And now we look forward to you for at 4:30 to join in the valedictory session, please.
Yes, sir. Yes, thank you.
And also in the valedictory session, we are going to announce a forum that we are together forming, Mentor Access together forming with the Seshadripuram First Grade College Yelahanka, Newtown, Bangalore. So it is going to be big happening, and the engine for all this is Dr. Shantanu Das. We are just the train, the bogies of the train moving behind him. So all kudos to Dr. Shantanu Das as well. So let's see you at 4:30. Thank you once again. Namaste.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Dr. Shantanu, our next speaker, is here. Menaka ji.
She's there.
Is she here? Let us check.
No.
She's not here. Let me cross check with her, sir.
Yeah.
And in the meanwhile, do we have Dr. Nancy here? Dr. Nancy Juneja?
No. Menaka, yeah, joined. She joined.
Oh, so Dr. Menaka is here.
Yeah.
Miss Menaka, you are here? Can we hear you?
Yeah, she has just joined. Yeah.
Can we hear your lovely voice? Kindly unmute yourself, please.
Is it me you're talking about? Hi, Manish.
Oh, yeah, the lovely, ever gorgeous, ever pretty, with all her charm. Meet Menaka. Wow. Yes. So I've been so eager. We have been connected since long, and I've been so eager to see you, to talk to you. And I'm glad that this digital era, it's breaking all the barriers and making us meet cross continents. So how beautiful the technology is. That is the power of artificial intelligence. That is what we have been talking from past 3 days. So namaste to you with all the heartfelt gratitude. We welcome you on the forum. The podium is all yours today. And I'm so glad, so grateful that you are being with us right from UK. Wow. United Kingdom. The Princess of United Kingdom is here with us. Wonderful. So glad. And Menaka, I really want to let you know that this is the initiative of Dr. Shantanu Das, who represents Seshadripuram First Grade College from Yelahanka, Newtown, Bangalore, together with Mentrix Global and along with other KSTA and North Bangalore Forum, and together with many more bodies. We initiated this just over a phone call. He wanted to do an AI summit, and I said, let's do it 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. And here we are on the concluding day with the ever gorgeous Menaka with us. And I'm so glad that you are our concluding speaker of the entire AI summit. Wow. So the people who are the torch bearers, people usually remember the one who starts or the one who ends. So you are going to be the finisher of the same. I'm so glad that you're with us. And post your session, we might have a quick break of say 10 to 15 minutes, and 4:30 we have our valedictory session as well. And we really need you there. And now I would quickly, we have Dr. Shantanu Das here, who represents Seshadripuram First Grade College, Yelahanka, Newtown, Bangalore. And over to you, Dr. Shantanu Das. The podium is yours with Menaka ma'am. Kindly introduce her and let's rock on with the show. Thank you. Namaste.
So namaste, Menaka madam. So we are overwhelmed that you are from London. You are speaking to us. See how as Munish told, the digital era, we are connecting globally. 12 international speakers. So we are spellbound. So just if I'd like to introduce you, I was checking out with the topic that you choose is self-leadership secrets. So the self-leadership, usually we check that leaders, followers, but you are telling about the self-leadership. So your, just a minute, yeah. So what I could see from your profile, as I'd like to introduce to our esteemed delegates, that what fires are you currently fighting? Overwhelm, illness, ineffectiveness, resilience is said to be the key to overcoming adversity. Stress and change, but what does that really mean? Can it be taught? So that's what her readers and audiences relate to her stories of despair, war, loss, and heartache. So just before you could speak, I was telling about our martyrs, the soldiers who has sacrificed their life, how their parents are dealing with, and you came into the right time to tell about the adversity, stress, and change. But what does that really mean, and can it be taught? Nobody can speak to anybody about that. Yeah, it has, what has happened is happened, forget it. They should learn. and you are the right person to make them. And I don't know how, no, Ivan Munish was telling, no, how the things are getting connected. So either it's a telepathy or something is happening, I don't know, magically from last 3 days. What he feels, I message, or what I feel, he messages. And same thing today also, Atipriya's talk, immediately you came into the picture. Dr. Menaka Pothilingam, leadership coach for healthcare professionals and corporate, resilience coach, become the director of your destiny. You will be benefited from the strategies he used to transform from Sri Lankan civil war victim, wow, two-time migrant and burned out single mom to a successful dentist, wow, multi-award winning entrepreneur, and an international speaker and best-selling author. He will guide you to transform your life by tapping into your gifts, letting go of what's holding you back, and developing a growth mindset that will help you become the director of your destiny. After 25 years in the healthcare industry as a dentist and practice over increasing the company's turnover fivefold, she decided to move into the world of coaching, putting her personal and professional experiences into practice. She helps you find clarity, grow self-belief, skills, and strategies to reach your goals through coaching and training. She is your catalyst to find the self-direction, a motivator to change, a sounding board to reflect, and your accountability partner for growth. Menaka inspires and motivates others to elevate their performance and productivity to reach their full potential and gain freedom. Be prepared to be taken on a journey of true resilience and discover how you can empower yourself to evolve through adversity. Menaka's superpower is resilience. It could be yours too. Your test becomes your greatness. Welcome, Menaka ji. We are indeed, by reading itself, we could see the goosebumps, no? That we are ready to take the fastest flight to break the shackles, to become the leaders of the future and make leaders of the future. Welcome you.
Thank you so much. Namaste, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are today. And I know that it's different time zones for different people. Thank you so much for having me here, Monish and Mr. Das. I'm really, really grateful, humbled. Thank you so much. Okay, so with further ado, let me just start doing it because, you know, that's what you are here for. So that's me. So I am originally from Sri Lanka, and due to the war, I had to migrate. Literally, I didn't even have a passport. So within a day, my dad got a passport for me, and I left and landed in India. And I just thought India was just an extension, you know. But it wasn't the case to be because, you know, first of all, there were so hundreds and thousands and millions of people, which I didn't know, because, you know, ignorance is bliss, right? I just saw the Bollywood movies, Hollywood movies, and I just thought it would be just an extension of Sri Lanka. How different it can be. It's just half an hour difference or 45 minutes, an hour flight. But, you know, you have 23 or 27 official languages. And I only knew Pani when I came to India. I didn't know anything else except that word. So it has been a jolly ride with its ups and downs. But it became my second home. By the time I left, my biggest achievement was so many people came for my farewell in the airport and they were all crying. And I think that is the biggest achievement for me beyond everything else. And so many families took me in like as if I was their own child. And I think that's what I'm really mostly grateful for. So today I'm talking about self-leadership because I feel it is very understated that when we talk about leadership, we often talk about someone else, how we can lead others. But actually, I think we should start from ourselves because it is change, as Mahatma Gandhi says, you know, change is within you first. You want to be the change you want to see in the world. So The leadership also, I believe, it comes from inside out. So first we have to change ourselves if we want to change others. Hence the name Self-Leadership Secrets. So the first component, this is my system I coach, teach, train people on. But the first section I would say is seek. We will always have challenges, maybe COVID-19. Look around you. I'm sure all of you have experienced somebody's death, a relationship breakdown, a business collapsing, a financial issue. Even if you're a student, might be a failure in some form or the other. But somehow we go through life thinking it's going to be bed of roses. We are never going to have any problems. So that's the reason you have to learn how to overcome these challenges, how you can change yourself and make your stresses your success. I used to coach and train and mentor, but I never had an online platform before, though I have been telling for a couple of years at least that I should be doing it. But COVID-19 hit and a couple of people asked me, actually from Bangalore, asked me whether they are stressed, they're dentists, and I have lots and lots of friends, so how we can help. And that's how my online platform was born. So when I say seek, what I mean is how far or how much time do you take to know yourself? We hardly take time. We are always looking outwards. We are going from one thing to the other, one failure to the other, or the one success to the other, or one friendship to the other, one relationship to the other, but we hardly stop and see where we are, what we want, and who we are more than anything else. In Aristotle's word, knowledge, self-knowledge is the basic, and acceptance is the basic of wisdom. So if we don't take time to know ourselves, understand ourselves, and accept for who we are, there's no wonder we find it hard to cope up. We find it hard when this change is knocking at our door, and we really stumble when there is change around the corner. The second bit is watch. So we are always watching, but again, most of the times, we are watching outwards. And we usually ask, why me? Why should they do that for me? Why did that happen to me? Instead of that, we could perhaps ask, what? What can I learn from it? What is it teaching me? What can I do for others? What can I do differently? When you think like that or speak like that to yourself, your perspective changes. Life is all about perceptions, right? How we see things. So when you see things like that, and when you ask these questions and answers and have dialogues, I think the perception totally changes. Then we talk about goals these days, all of us do. And how many of you have started 2020 or 2019 or even 18? We start with a bang. When the new year starts, we have goals for that year. We want to create a business or launch something or write a book, have a target weight. But how many of us really follow through? That's because, first of all, we are not very definite with what we really want. So that's the reason I have written, just read more books, get a new hobby, learn a new skill. And it's really a very generalized terminology we usually use. And hence, we are ourselves not very clear, and our mind only understands what we specify. So if we are not clear ourselves, firstly, our mind cannot understand. And then if you are a leader, your team definitely cannot understand. Your followers definitely cannot understand. And when there is no clarity, there is confusion. And when there is confusion, there's often failure. So as a leader, more than anyone else, it's important for everyone. But in particular, if you're a leader, it's really, really important. What do you want? Why do you want it? And what are you going to do about it? So, and think big. Start with the end in mind. Because if you don't start with the end in mind, we get lost often. Imagine you go for a journey and you get into a car and you don't know where you're going. You will be going around the circles, right? And it's exactly same thing for goals or intentions or dreams. And have dreams. What are simple? What other people can understand as a leader. Look at Mahatma Gandhi. Look at Dr. Martin Luther King. Everyone understood what their dream was, and it was simple enough. And they had a common dream, which was for the greater cause or greater good. And that's the reason everyone rallied behind them. And that's the reason they were so successful. So if you are a leader, your dreams have to be very clear and create milestones, how you are going to achieve it, and also translate to other people how you are going to do it as well. Where is your focus? Usually, what happens is we are most of the time looking at what happened in the past or what we want in the future. How often actually do we really take time to be in our present? So here is my story. I used to be the multitasking queen. I used to think if I do more things, I'm more successful. But is it really true? There is a book called One Thing. I would recommend everybody to read it. It's an excellent book. The multitasking terminology was coined from computers. In the computer, even the computer can do only one thing at a time, but it alternates from one thing to the other. So as human beings, we definitely cannot do two things at one time. And so much research has been done. It creates more health issues, and it creates a problem with focus, and you make more mistakes. So it's really important for you to be present. Oprah Winfrey speaks about it a lot. When she has the cup of coffee, she has that cup of coffee. How many of you can actually tell that's what you do? Most of us don't, right? Including myself in the past. We used to just go from one thing to the other. And or we are thinking about our past or what we can do in the future. What can I do next? And in all that confusion, we are losing the experience, what we have at that moment. Just try, I mean, obviously now COVID-19 lockdown, but just try going to a restaurant or a cafe. How many people are sitting across the tables, but they're on the smartphones? So as human beings, we have gone on to become the human doings. So I think it's worthwhile thinking about it for a while and going back to being the human beings, the great creators we have been blessed to be. Then know your reality. So what do I mean by reality? We go through life from one box to the other, right? We have the box of our house, then we have the box of our car or any other mode of transport, train, bus, might be few of you walk, but not many, I'm sure. And then we go into the box of the office. And even further, we have chambers inside the office these days, right? We are even more isolated. We are, as human beings, we are not born to be islands. We love communicating. We love connecting. We like creating communities. But in the meantime, there is a balance between wanting to please everybody and wanting to please yourself. Hence, it's important for you to know the reality where you are, what you are doing, and how you are living your life. So think about your compromises you're making. Catch your conflicts, because often what happens, I can tell you my own story. I was burnt out because I was trying to please everyone around me. In the bargain, I was not looking after myself. If you don't take anything else today from this talk, I want you to take one line. Self-care is not selfish. Self-care is not selfish. Because if you can't look after yourself, if you can't keep yourself happy and fulfilled as a leader, as a mother, as a daughter, as a father, as a brother, as an employee or an employer, regardless what you are, where are you, whatever you are doing, it really doesn't matter. You wouldn't be able to spread happiness. You wouldn't be a good leader. You can't be a good business person. You can't be a good healthcare professional. You can't be a good parent. You can't be a good child. You can't be a good spouse, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. Imagine you have an empty cup and you're trying to give tea or coffee for entire town. Can you? That's what we often try to do. We don't fill our own cups, but we are trying to fill everyone else. And hence, we have problems and we get burnt out. We have mental health issues. We get stressed. We get anxious and we get overwhelmed. How often do we say the words, the magical words, if only? If only my spouse can understand me better. If only my child could behave better. If only my boss could understand me. If only my peer could help me more. If only COVID-19 didn't hit us. If only there was no lockdown. But think about it. Instead of saying if only, we can say, what is? What is it teaching us? The COVID-19 taught me I am content being on my own. COVID-19 taught me there are always opportunities. So I am sure for all of you, I'm sure there's lots of loss, pain, tragedy around us due to COVID-19. But that is life, right? What is life? It's a season. So it's a connection of lots of different seasons is what makes our life enjoyable. Imagine we all are happy 24/7 for 365 days. I'm sure we won't be able to appreciate the good moments, our successes, right? So instead of saying if only next time, try to think, what is that one thing I can do? I hope this talk has somehow influenced you to create some amount of change. I would love to know what is that one change you want to create and how you're going to create and when you're going to create it. Keep at least one promise to yourself today, what you are going to do. That will help yourself, your organizations, people around you, and everybody else. So this is the question for you from me. You can discover your path. You can choose your path. The opportunities are all over. Options are there. Which path are you going to choose? It might be just that 1% difference today you make, but it could create a much bigger impact few years down the lane. So what my saying is, compare your yesterday with today and begin your journey to become better version every day. that compare yourself only with yourself. For me, I want to be better today than myself yesterday, and I want to be a better version tomorrow than what I am today. I will finish with that my slides, and I'll just tell a small story, and then obviously I'll take questions from you. So challenges and setbacks and problems come to you to teach something. When I had to uproot myself from Sri Lanka to India, hardly knowing anyone except one person in the entire India, that taught me that I am much stronger than I realized. When I realized I'm the only person who didn't study in English till that moment, and I was the oldest person in that class, that taught me I could learn at any age. Age is not really a barrier. When people embraced me as their own, I learned I could go anywhere without fear, because underneath all those differences, we are all the same. And if we are open, humble, and ready to integrate, most of the times, other people are happy to embrace us too. Then when I came to the UK, that was another ballgame. It was another different scenario. Would you be surprised if I say to you, in my lowest, loneliest moment, when I lost everything, that's when I found enlightenment. I was burnt out. I was signed off from work. I'm a single mom. And my business almost came to a standstill. But that's when I realized you don't need the car, the house, the holidays, or anyone around you to be happy. That's when I learned how easy it is to be happy and content and fulfilled. So my humble request to you today is, instead of chasing happiness around you, please try to look for happiness within you. So as a gift for people who are here, if anyone is interested, I am going to give 10 people who are on this platform to be able to book a half-an-hour session with me as a thank you note. Bangalore is a city which is really, really close to my heart. I lived there for 10 years, and that's where I became a dentist. That's where I became a lecturer to dental students, and gained a lot of families and friends for life. So this is a city which is really close to my heart, and it's one of my favorite cities in the world. So I will do anything to be there at any time. I call myself Chocoholic Dentist. So Corner House in Bangalore is my favorite place. Every time I come, I always visit the Corner House. And there are so many hundreds and hundreds of memories, hundreds of people I remember with gratitude. And I'm counting my blessings for every day I spend there. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I'm open for questions.
Yeah, thank you, madam, so much. Now, we are in fact indebted to you because of your kind words and all. And as Q&A starts, before that, I'd like to ask, the moment you came out of Sri Lanka, what was the first thing in your mind?
So looking down from the flight, I thought it was, I landed in Chennai, like most of the Sri Lankans do, I guess. And looking from above, everything was enlightening, like lights everywhere. I thought, okay, it was almost like landing in the dream city. However, when I woke up in the morning and started going, first thing I noticed was there were people everywhere, sea of people everywhere. I had never seen so many people in my life till I landed in India. And it was like, cars is like snails and cars, and it was really different experience altogether. But I felt safe. I must say, I felt safe because I went through, in my book, everything is there. I went through really difficult times. Couple of times, particularly personally, I was involved. So I had a lot of traumatic experiences. So I felt safe. My father came with me to make sure that I'm safe in India. Then I was offered medicine in Chennai, and for whatever reason, I said, no, I want to become a dentist. So hence I landed in Bangalore doing dentistry. But I truly believe there are no accidents in life. Everything is just meant to be, whatever happened. So I think if I am speaking to you today in this platform, I was just meant to be. Munish, as he said, I knew him last year. We spoke together in Delhi. And after that, we kind of lost touch. And just a few days before this, we connected. It's like, I think universe just brings everything to you in the right time, in the right way, in the right manner.
So what is your driving force? What you tell to be the driving force? Because usually in every walk of life, people are either distracted, or they are demotivated, or they come across certain prejudices or certain shackles or certain breaks. So how to overcome that? What is the driving force which you will tell to all our delegates?
Okay, sure. For me, my driving force is I want to create training centers in Asia. That's my driving force, because I feel we are somehow left behind. And because I go for a lot of training, even in the UK, and a lot of times women tell me, oh, you have a degree, so it's easy for you. But it's not true. I always tell them, they bring all these dishes to the training courses and stuff. I'm like, I can't even make a decent meal. I can, but that's about it. I can just cook to live, nothing more, nothing less. And so we are all have an inner gift. I think, imagine as a child, we wouldn't have walked, we wouldn't have started speaking, we wouldn't have done anything unless and until we were prepared to fail. But somehow along the line, we learn that it's not okay to fail. And then we start having that fear, and we don't want to do anything because we think we are going to be ridiculed, we are going to be judged, what people will say, what will I feel, all those things stop us from doing things. So coming back to your question about distraction and procrastinations and feeling overwhelmed, I think that's mainly because of the fear and self-doubt. And people think somehow they can't do what they have to do, or they can't do what they dream about. So what you can do is, where is that self-doubt coming from? We might think it is overwhelm and overthinking and procrastinating. It is just for us. But there was a Harvard review done, and in that 95% of the population is prone to procrastination or overthinking. So it's not only us, but I think we have to go back to our basics. Sometimes that's because we don't have the skills or knowledge or experience why we want to do what we want to do. But then think what you can do about it rather than just not doing it. And second thing is, don't wait till you become perfect. Focus on progress than perfect. So when I started my online course, I had to learn a lot of things. Some of my coaches are here online today, so I know that they are listening. So some of the things, I'm not always perfect, but I'm happy to accept it anywhere, anytime, because we are all humans. We have to fail, we have to learn. That's life. So please don't wait till you become perfect to do something. Just start, take one step at a time, break down whatever you have to do, and enjoy the ride, because success is all about the journey, not the destination. We are so focused on our destination and we don't even start the journey most of the time. If I am going to wait till I create the training centers in Asia, I think I'll be waiting a long time. But instead, I just wrote the book, I became a coach, I became a speaker, and one person at a time you can change. And that's what life is about. So take small steps, make progress, and life will be yours.
Wonderful. So with Munishi is online and we are here, North Bangalore Science Forum. No, and you know that during this COVID-19, you could see many eminent people, many young guys, many youngsters are succumbed to suicide attempts. So as Ritika Desai, one of the delegate asked, as per famous saying, failure is the best teacher, but some can't accept it and go on the worst ways like suicide attempts. What is your vision on it? How you can change the game or to change the scenario, right? Before a person goes to do suicide, I think certain neurological changes happens in the brain. So that particular critical point, if he or she is been stopped, I think they give their best, their rest of the life. But if that is not given during that time, they fall prey to that. So what is that critical juncture and how to deal with that?
Okay. Thank you so much for asking, because this is a topic which is really close to my heart. And I speak about mental health issues a lot. And I'm also part of the charity in UK who deals with all these issues. Actually, we have a meeting tonight. So mainly mental health happens because of the chemical imbalances in the brain. But particularly in Asia, may it be Sri Lanka, may it be India, may it be another country in Asia, somehow there is still stigma and taboo about mental health. If we have high blood pressure and diabetes, we don't think we shouldn't take medications, right? We are willing to go and start taking help and taking medications. But somehow, when it comes to mental health, we think we have to hide. We can't talk to people. And why do we not talk to people? Because there's no awareness. According to WHO, 1 in 4 of us have suffered or will be suffering in one form or the other some kind of mental health issue. So if we are, I don't know how many people are on this forum today, if we are so many of us, 1/4 of us might have experienced or will be experiencing it. But in actual fact, and most of us here are quite educated, literate, holding good positions, but how many of you are actually happy to put your hands up and say, I had mental health issue? Because we think it's a label which nobody wants to carry. And that's one problem. Second thing is, people are not aware to pick up the signs, because people won't do normally. If people who are highly functional, very successful people, like you said, they are suddenly become different people. They won't enjoy what they are enjoying normally, or they don't want to interact with people. Their characteristics become very different. Are people around them aware of those changes? Do people even take time to notice? Because feeling alone and being alone are two different things. I actually did a speech about it and I want the award for it, because being alone and being lonely is very, very different. I can tell for myself as well. At the time I was in a relationship, just because you are with someone and you are not alone, it doesn't really mean you won't feel lonely. But now I am alone, but I don't feel lonely. I feel blessed. So there's no connection. So just because people are surrounded by someone, please don't assume they are content and happy and you don't need to help them. And please try to lend a hand, lend a ear. I think somebody's playing it loud. That's what it is. Okay. Please lend a ear, lend a hand for somebody in that situation. And third thing is, as a community, I think we have to all get together and create awareness. And I often say, my famous saying, it's okay not to be okay sometimes. You don't have to be always okay, because we always wear a mask. We're always smiling. We're always partying. Just look at any social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, now TikTok, God knows how many more have come, right? If you see, everybody's life is perfect. They go to the best destinations. They have the best cars, best life, best relationships. But is it really true? Behind the scenes, it's not so true. It's not sustainable. But we are teaching other people, and we are putting that pressure for other people to expect that from themselves and others. And I think that is causing undue pressure. Even as a kid, you know, if you don't get 100%, it's not good enough. So, you know, these things, I think, continuously creating pressure for everyone.
Wow. The next question from Dr. Subhashini. We could witness the people who are trailed through impossibility and darkness, and every nose in life will come out as great leaders and inspirants for the rest. Madam, we wish you a great success for Asian Leadership Training Center. Thank you. And as Munishji is there, why don't, as you look for Asian, why don't you set up, and you had been Bangalore to be the close to your heart, why don't you pick up North Bangalore Science Forum, our institute, to be your first center? Munishji?
Sure. Sure, by all means, because I am already coaching people in India and in Bangalore. I would love to.
Wonderful. The reason why I am openly suggesting you, the reason is our institution caters for more than 25 to 30,000 students. And we come across many students or many people that know when they open up, because we have certain called mentoring system. When one-to-one, when we speak, really, I can't tell you the expression, we just feel, oh my God, how she or he is coping up with this and pursuing their studies. And then no, the humanity, you know, that time automatically tears roll down from the eyes. So I would like you, with no guidance from Munishji, mentor, because he itself is mentor X, let us mentoring system. Why don't you join us and open the first sector here?
Sure, I would love to. I'm humbled and honored that you asked me. Thank you.
The second down, the next part we go that many students or many people, like everyone can't be like, no, if I just forgot the name of the king who was going to war, and after he was hiding in the cave, King Lear or something like that.
King
No, yes. The second one, I could see the KFC proprietor, KFC. He lost everything till the age of 60, 65. Then he started his life. So no, how you feel that, no, because everybody can't wait till 60, 65, or they can't wait even for 2 years of loss. How you compensate this year of loss into success? What is the mantra?
Mantra is what happens is we give up too early, and we give up as we are about to succeed. So if you see Thomas Alva Edison, he I think he failed 999 times or something like that. So the assistant went up to him and said, what's the point? We should give up, because we have at least tried 99 elements and it's not working. And Thomas Alva Edison told him, it is a blessing. I'm so happy. And he was thinking, what's wrong with him? And he turned around and said, because we know all these elements which don't work. So we only have few more elements to try now, and it will definitely work. Often what happens is, even if we want to lose weight, or we want to, you know, be in a particular weight, we go to walk 5 days. So we, after 1 day, we'll look at our scale, second day, third day, 5 days, we just give up. But we forget how many days we were sitting and eating sweets and not doing exercise. And today, in particular, in today's era, we all want instantaneous results. We are on Instagram, we want instant photographs, We want everything instant coffee, right? So we have lost our charm for waiting and understanding the gift of patience. Imagine, look at Martin Luther King, look at Mahatma Gandhi. You don't have to go too far in India. Look at him. Like if he stopped in the first failure, he would have never achieved what he achieved, right? He went on. So my one piece of advice for you is you go with the thought that you will fail. It's going to be inevitable. Because last session, when I did my coaching session, some of them are actually listening. I was telling them failure is a gift. That was the session. Because failure is really a gift. In my life, I can tell I have learned so much more during my failures than my successes. Successes haven't taught me much. And I will tell you a small story. There was a king who was gifted a ring with the inscription by a wise person in the kingdom, because he wanted to leave something for the generations to come. And so when he lost his war, he went somewhere and he was thinking, that's the end of my life. I had to probably jump off. And then he remembers and he sees that inscription and it's written, this shall also pass. And then he sees that, then to cut the long story short, he comes back and he fights and gets the kingdom back. But then this wise person says, can you please read it again? And the king says, why? I have all the power, I have won the war. Why do you want me to read it now? He says, can you please listen to this obedient servant and just read it? And he says, and it says, this shall also pass. So it makes you humble when you're successful, but it gives you hope when you have failure.
Wow. It's so wonderful to listen.
Yeah.
I would like to ask you a few more queries that now I call, because I am a teacher, I deal with the students. I have seen when I was a student, when I started my career as a teacher, and now, just 5 years or 6 years back, not even 10, 5 years back, when we used to tell students something, be patient, as you told the patients, I call now present generation as ATM scratch card generation. You scratch, immediately, everything should be on the board. But that is not what it happens, really. So we could see that many people, like they win the lotteries or something else, overnight they buy bungalows, car, whatnot, whatever, and next, after a couple of months, we hear that he is again back to the square. So I wanted to ask you how to make this younger generation, as you told, right, that to plant a tree and every day, like golden geese, instead of cutting everything and taking once, why don't you take the dividends in a recurrent way? So how you deal and how you tell or how you suggest to overcome this scratch card generation?
Okay, so I think as parents, as teachers, we have to take responsibility, because I don't know about India and Sri Lanka, but in the West, everyone gets a certificate. You have to just win the race. And you go to the next class and the next class and the next class, and parents, right now we think they are the apple of our eye, and which is true, they should be. But we should also teach them sometimes things won't work out. Sometimes you can't get things to them. It's not, there's a saying, it's cruel to be kind, right? You have to teach them the right things, because we put them in such a pedestal these days, and they are not trained for failure. They're not used for failure. And suddenly you throw them into the workforce, and it is not the same again. Because I used to train dentists in UK. I still have my practice. I used to be a trainer for dentists. And when they come, they get really disheartened when they have a bad comment or feedback from a patient. And they think they are somehow, resistant to failure. Nothing will ever happen. It's going to be a smooth sailing. And they're precious. When you come from that mindset, I think it's really hard to embrace failure then. And that's the reason I think mental health issues and suicides, like you mentioned, it happens. So as teachers and as parents and as community, I think it's really important for us to teach them. It's okay not to be taking 100% all the time. You don't have to 10 out of 10, but it is also important for you to know sometimes other people won't like what you say or do. And you have to be okay with it, because life is all about feedback. So failure is just feedback, nothing else. You have to start learning how you can circumnavigate it to get where you want to get, instead of thinking it's a roadblock and that's it, I'm just going to give up your life, your career, or your relationship, or anything else. Because I think it's a feedback, so you have to work on that. It's your responsibility. What is responsibility? It is always about ability to respond. So, that is what I think as teachers and parents, it's important for us to teach them the ability, how they can respond to different things.
For parents, now, as you correctly told, right? Earlier days, if a teacher scolds a student because of the failure, no teacher, no parent will deliberately or have any grudge towards any student. Suppose they tell something, the student breaks down immediately and they never attend the classes. Whereas during our days and your days, you will be knowing very well, if a teacher or somebody scolds, we take it in a positive way. How come we are made of the same genes? We are made up of blood and flesh. We are not aliens. They are not aliens. By how come this within 5 to 6 years, everything has changed?
I guess we all have, in different generations, different things, right? I think actually my mom might be listening to this, I have a feeling. But, what my parents told me even today, whether I do it or not is secondary, but I wouldn't say to them that, okay, I will never do this, or I am, not going to do this, because that's the way we were raised. But I have a 17-year-old, she would ask questions. Why and when and what and how? But that's a different generation. That's all right. But I think the problem is in us, to be fair. So for example, I tell my coaching students very often, if the children are not washing, the kitchen is, as women, as the kitchen is messy, we get frustrated, we get annoyed. But we don't tell them the truth. We get annoyed and we tell them off. But the truth is, we are annoyed because it adds more work for us. At work, if somebody else is not doing their job, we are annoyed with them. Why? Because we might have to do that work for them, or it is going to impact on us, but we never tell that. We tell you didn't do something, it is your problem, you have not served us well, or you have not done it well. So I think we probably have to change the approach, how we tell. We have to tell, but I think the approach is, because whether we like it or not, I think the current generation is much smarter than we were. At least I can tell from whatever experiences I have had. They are digital generation, they have pool of knowledge, and their way of thinking is different. So I think it's important for us to tell them why they have to do something or why they shouldn't do something, rather than just plainly saying not to do or to do. I think in that way, you're opening the channel of communication, and I think that will make a bigger impact.
Wow, what an answer. And I would like to ask any participants if you have some more questions. No, nice presentation, mesmerized, lively, wonderful, enjoyed the session, live session, loved the session, amazing insights. Okay, the last question what I'd like to ask you is related to the job. A student, they don't have, suppose as you know, Ati Priyaji before you, he started from a simple MCOM and reached the pinnacle of life within a span. But now people immediately after a course, either it can be general course of 3 years, immediately they should get into the job, and that to pocket filled of high amount of perks, which is literally impossible. If they don't get, they start blaming, they get into what you call all kind of negative approaches. How we being teacher or we being educational institute can mentor them correctly to stop going into this kind of negative approaches?
I think firstly, we should stop telling them, showing them dreams that, unfortunately, a lot of institutes or a lot of parents and teachers, we tell, okay, you do this course and after this, you're going to get everything in life. And that's the promise. And, as students at that age, because they're very impressionable, they come into the institute thinking they don't never have to do anything else in their life. They will go out, and then world will be the oyster. They are going to achieve everything under the sun. So might be we have to firstly set realistic expectations. We need to kind of create mentors, coaches, or some kind of system in place to make them create realistic goals and realistic expectation, and tell them what they can achieve and what they have to work towards. It's not that they cannot achieve, but there has to be, in one of my slides, I had like, milestones, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, you can be pocket full of dollars. That's not a problem, but you have to take time and effort to get there. So instead of telling, yes, you have to do this course and you will get this, might be we have to reframe our saying to say, yes, this is the first step and this is the biggest step you will be taking to get there. But that doesn't mean you don't have to climb any other steps in the process. I think that will kind of create the realistic expectations in their mind, and they will know this is not all. After that, they have to keep still working towards that goal.
Wow. So do you feel that nowadays, right, the kids are being over pampered? Is it maybe the reason why they become very, very stubborn?
I am a mom myself, and I'm definitely not the gold standard mom, so I'm not probably the best person to answer. But I think stubbornness is, they are the product of nature and nurture, right? Our genes is in them. The way as parents, the community, the teachers, we all have produced them. I think we can't shy away from that responsibility and say they are stubborn, it is not our problem. So we have to also kind of look inwards and see what role have we played in creating them that way. And most of the times when they're stubborn, I think that's because they find that's the only way they can get the attention. Yeah. Because they tell you once, they tell you twice these days, including myself, I'm on a course, or I'm on the phone, I'm on a, something else, as particularly with professionals, we are all so busy. And unless until they do something drastic, most of the time they don't get the attention. So they think they learn that's the best way to get, grab the attention from us, unfortunately. And the other thing is, I think as parents and teachers, we often measure what we spend time with them, or how much we love them by the time we spend. But the time we spend really doesn't really matter. That's because we might be still being on the phone or social media or doing the work on the laptop, and we are still speaking to them. But it's energy. How much are you present? How much energy are you actually giving? So you rather play with the children for half an hour and give 100% energy than be there for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours and just be distracted with something else.
Yes, that's how the current scenario, that COVID-19 has done it. The working women are facing a big problem. The kids or even they have to manage the household work. they have to do the office work, they have to manage the kids, and that may be the reason, as you tell, to how to withstand this all multi-dimensional work staying in home. So any tips?
I think the only thing I will tell is none of us come with a recipe for being a parent. We are expected to do everything suddenly, and I think that causes pressure on us. And when we have so much of pressure, then we pass it on to our spouses and our children. So the best way to do is take one step at a time, and that is a job, unfortunately, you learn on the job. There you have to just keep taking one step at a time, and because no two kids are the same and no two parents are the same, right? Everybody is different. So you have to adapt, and you have to see what works and what doesn't work, and you have to be having open mind. But I think most important thing, a tip for women, is don't try to be too self-critical, because particularly at Asian, we want our children, if it's in the UK, to go to Oxford and Cambridge, and I'm sure like there's MIT and different things in India. So don't have that kind of expectations from children, so that they also won't have that expectation from you. If you want them to get 100% all the time and put that pressure, they will turn around and put that kind of pressure on you as well. So I think it's a collaboration, really.
Sorry to interrupt in between. That's a wonderful, wonderful session. Menaka ma'am. Hello.
Thank you. Thank you.
Why cannot I see you? Where have you gone?
I am there.
Oh, yeah. Yes, wonderful. So it's indeed a wonderful, wonderful session. Thank you so much for enlightening us. And more than the session, I loved how you have enlightened us through the Q&A. That was really powerful, how you deeply answered everything and how you shared your knowledge, your expertise, your experience over the years with us. Beautiful. All about the procrastination, not to wait, not to think negative. That's what I tell everyone, that till the time being, you don't think that, okay, I cannot do it, or this can go wrong. Your universe doesn't know that. You yourself are telling this to universe that, okay, it can go wrong, or you're giving the power to your universe that, okay, you cannot do it. If don't think negative, think positive and do it. So we are indeed grateful to you. Thank you for being with us. And yes, Shantanu sir, we are soon going to launch that training center with Mentorex and Menaka ma'am. So in the validity session, let's declare that as well. So we see you sharp at 4:30, all of you, and we have Voila Edward as well joining us from Netherlands, Cyprus. So thank you, Voila ma'am, for being with us. See you all at 4:30.
And
I would love to add. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, please tell us.
Sorry to interrupt. I would love to add a point. Indeed, humbled and gratitude to you, ma'am. And I believe you answered all my queries. And not just being an entrepreneur, being a mother of two, I feel this conference has been on a multi-dimensional conference with people coming from diverse background and giving so much knowledge. You are a pool of knowledge, and the way, the compassion and empathy you have given us all, indeed humbled each and everyone here, all the attendee. I would love to you to see the chat that everyone is praising you for this session. And I feel somehow you have given us the concluding line of the whole summit, that no matter what, whether we use AI, what is the magnitude, how we use AI, and how we do the balance between holistic living, sustainable development. But unless and until we have the full command on ourselves as how to do our action and not to procrastinate, that is the game which lies. So the end is, the finale line is to raise the human potential like that, so that we know when to use, how to use, for what to use. Thank you so much for that. And I request you to give the final word, and share wisdom for everyone out there.
Thank you so much for all those kind words from all three of you. And I'm sincere apologies for people who have been chatting, because I have stopped multitasking a while back, so I couldn't see that. And thank you so much for being present here for everyone. My humble request is, at this moment, please take a moment, be silent, look after yourself, and please lend a hand and lend a ear to someone else who needs that. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Can I talk a few words? Yeah.
Sure.
Can I talk a few words? I'm Dr. Mamta.
Yes. Please.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm a dentist. I'm actually a co-mentee of Dr. Menaka Madam. I would just like to say a few words about her. In fact, she's my senior from Ambedkar Dental College. And I just incidentally happened to meet her after so many years on just the Facebook. Though being a dentist, I'm practicing dentistry. After this COVID pandemic occurred, I had a lot of procrastinations about opening the clinic and getting scared about exposure to the infections. In spite of all that, she had, summed up about the protocols to be followed, and she had increased the productivity of my clinical practice. Apart from that, not only the practical level, she also, helps you on the personal level to be success and to be, mindful and thoughtful about your goals. So I'm really happy, and it was a wonderful session. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Mamta. Humbled. Thank you.
Thank you. So just before winding up, I'll quote one that a strange conference started on 9th with artificial intelligence for sustainability, has blended with psychology, mentoring, is getting concluded with leadership philosophy for sustained life, meaningful journey, madam, pampering will reduce their immunity. So I am really blessed to have such a wonderful speaker. And now I request all my audience, all my delegates, on behalf of Seshadripuram Group of Institution, MentorX Global, North Bangalore Science Forum, Indian Institute of Science Alumni Association, North Bangalore Science Forum, Research Foundation of India, and Student for Development, a wholehearted thanks to Menaka Madam. And I would like to request all the delegates to join us at sharp 4:30 for the valedictory, which is mandatory to be eligible for whatever the feedbacks and other formalities. So please, all of you join with the same link at 4:30. Thank you one and all. Join with the same link at 4:30 sharp.